Steph, could you look in that one, see if both of us are...
They're gonna tell me, could you shut the fuck up? I was gonna be like, I'm sorry.
Hey man.
What up? Where are you from originally, and what was your upbringing like?
Okay, I'm from Nigeria originally. I grew up in Abuja, went to school in Lagos, did a year in Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt is how we would pronounce it, but if I'm trying to be, pronounce it well and enunciate, then it would be Port Harcourt. Right, I moved around a lot, so it's been from time. Then came to Winnipeg when I was 16, and yeah, upbringing was pretty fun. I played soccer most of my time and just watched movies. That was it.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
The Notebook.
The Notebook?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm a lover boy like that. It's my 1 year anniversary today too.
Man.
So
shout out the girl.
Really. So The Notebook is my favorite movie because of the amount of emotion that it's able to evoke inside of me, and I like things that can really pull on my humanness, and it did it just so fantastically.
You're someone that appreciates all types of art. You love everything. You do everything. In the music perspective, who were some of the first artists growing up that really inspired you?
Ooh. I swear, even growing up, I was also just inspired by everything. I just listened to everything. In class, I would get in trouble for singing. Like I would just sing a random song that comes to my head, right? And because then we're still developing, so I'm not too particular on how I'm gonna control what's in my brain versus what comes out of my mouth.
100%.
So the second the song comes in, baby girl, you bad. I'm just singing in class. Then my teacher is like, Dad, stop singing. I'm like, okay. And immediately I say, okay, it's the same song just keeps playing again. And I'm like, oh crap, you just told me. So I would get in trouble because I can't even control the way the music just comes out, right? But who did I listen to when I was younger? I swear it's just a whole lot of everything. I couldn't tell you anybody in particular, but I really like Michael Jackson and been liking him from the time when I watched Megamind. So, it was just like growing up, the movies that I watched also influenced the music that I heard. And ultimately just influeing the kind of music I listen to.
Especially growing up, outside of the States or even North America at all, how much did North American culture in terms of music and movies have an influence on you compared to stuff that was being created where you were from?
Ooh, that's a great question. Because I've got the amazing contrast to this. Okay, so I grew up watching, let's just say, all North American movies.
Okay.
All North America, you could say that in terms of my entertainment, it was pretty westernized. Right. But in terms of the music that I heard on the streets, it was music that was made from home, and the movies that were also made in Nigeria are not the best.
No.
And the plot line is always the same. There's always like this witch doctor who is trying to, put a curse on some guy. So it's almost the things that are, as a kid, made to scare you.
Right.
They would call them home videos, is how my mother even used to call like Nigerian films, right? On Nollywood. So there's always a witch. It's always about money or trying to get into places of power through like terrible means, right? So it's either the guy went to some guy to give him this power that would allow him to touch somebody, and when he touched the person, they would do whatever they said.
Okay.
Right. So those kind of like just terrible people. The shit that if you saw, you would just want to close your eyes and you would have nightmares for a while. There was this movie called Ogbanje, and Ogbanje means witch in, I can't remember the language, but we have over like 200 languages in Nigeria.
Right.
So Ogbanje is just like witch. It may be Yoruba, but this woman, she just had a very distorted look, and for a while, that image haunted my sleep. Like just thinking about that freaking movie would literally terrorize me. So I purposely stayed away from Nigerian movies to sum it all up.
So fair. What language did you speak growing up?
So I spoke English.
English.
Fully. So
Okay.
English is our official language.
Okay.
So my grandma, she spoke Ibibio. She was also a French teacher as well.
Okay.
So she did speak French, but they just never really passed it on to me, which is why I also fight my sister and my whole family, because you could have taught me all these languages this whole time and you guys didn't. Why?
Fair, yeah.
You know, but
I mean, you've already got lots of culture. You have lots of
Right,
different upbringing,
right.
different places that you've been. You've had lots of different influences, which definitely shows in the things that you like to do.
Right.
What encouraged you to first want to go to Toronto?
Acting.
Acting.
I just knew that it was a big city. Honestly, I could even put a picture to Toronto before I came here.
Okay.
And I have this silly thing of not using the internet to research things, but rather just hoping and waiting to see and be surprised, right? So all I knew was, acting would be great in Toronto. People told me, yo, you want to do acting? Go to Toronto. So from Winnipeg, where honestly I was pretty comfortable, I started doing my thing there. I just hosted a fashion show before I left. So it was like, I've got, good audience. People know me here. I've got some motion. So if I stayed, it wouldn't be too bad. But Toronto's going to have a lot more opportunities acting-wise.
Right.
And I knew that if I wanted to go to uni, I wanted to do something that I would not hate for the next 4 years. So it was one of those, it took my coaches to even just call me out of class. I'm like, yo, Winnipeg is not for you, bro. You don't stay here. Like, everybody who was from Winnipeg was like, Diane, get the hell out of Winnipeg right now. So it was just like, alright, it's not me, you gotta convince my mom. If you can get my mom to say, alright, let's go to Toronto, then sure. And quickly, my coach called my mom's. Somehow my mom was that convinced, and here I am.
Yeah, so how did you get into rugby?
Okay, rugby was in Winnipeg as well.
Okay.
So there was this dude, his name is Jaden Cox. He just seen me in the hallway, he's like, bro, you look big, you can play rugby. I'm like, alright, let's do it. And I always wanted to play a contact sport, because in Nigeria we don't really have many.
Right.
One, because it really can't be taken care of management-wise. And two, not many people want to take liabilities for any injuries that happen, and I don't think we really have the procedure in order to properly manage those kind of situations. So it's just best not to have.
What's healthcare like there?
I couldn't even say. My mom works in public health, so I would just say that they're working.
They have it.
They have it. I really can't speak too much on it, but I've never broken a bone in my body. I've only been to the hospital. I think the worst thing I've got was a stomach dysentery, so I don't get sick much. Yeah,
fair. It's pretty wild. Like, you're like a freak of nature. Like, you're fucking huge, and you are really athletic, but you also love art. You love things outside of fitness and sports. How do you balance playing a sport with the things that you want to do in terms of your creative?
We got so much time in this world, man. We could do it all. We could. It's like,
that's a great attitude to have.
Yeah, we got 24 hours in the day. If I've got school, you could split your day into two. Maybe one half of my day I could be the sporty guy. I've gone to the gym. I've done my run. I take a nap in between, and then I wake up. And I can drag my feet. I've got a canvas, I got a laptop, I got a camera, let's record something now, get a little creative medicine.
Yeah, you do everything. You do music, you do art, you do events, you do everything under the sun. Where do you think that comes from? Your want to try everything?
Just my ubiquitous nature, right? Growing up, I've just always liked everything. Like, my mom says this all the time. Firstly, I wanted to be a lawyer because I also like to stand up for people, and I don't like when people just get treated in a way that they're not supposed to. Like, it's different if it warrants them to, receive what they got.
Yeah.
But when not really, then it's not really fair, man. So I wanted to be a lawyer. Then I wanted to be a chef. After I wanted to play soccer and just I wanted to play for Liverpool, actually. If I still get the chance, I just haven't played soccer in a while, so who am I kidding? I have a sense where I can try it, and I also want to be good at things that I try the first time. So I could start it. I see the opportunity of me getting better at it, and it's like, okay, let's keep going.
Yeah, why not?
So if you introduce me to something new right now, and I just like it enough, I'll keep doing it. It may not be constantly, but maybe once a week. I'll just try to put it in it at least a tiny bit.
I want to kind of like break down a little bit of each of the things that you do.
Mhm.
So for starters, like you are on songs, like you've made music before.
Right.
Is that something that you find like you want to be the main thing that you do, or is that more of just like a hobby?
Nah, definitely not. I think it's just more of like a shit. This guy's always got something to say. Let's put it on a rhyme.
Facts.
You know?
I think Parking Lot is so fun. It's so fun.
Really?
I've seen you perform it twice now. You love art, you create art, like fine art, like physical
Right.
art, pieces and stuff. I believe you were selling some yesterday,
Right.
Where does that come from, and like what made you want to do that?
Olaolu Sloan.
Mm.
He's an artist from the UK,
Literally the
originated
coolest-
from
the coolest
Nigeria.
person ever.
That's my inspiration.
Yeah.
And simply because he just makes it look easy.
Mhm.
I'm not an artist. I don't make art. I know nothing about it. Like my girlfriend, I would say she is an artist because
I saw those pants she made you yesterday.
her sketches are
Yeah.
just insane.
Mhm.
Sometimes I see some of the stuff that she's up to, and then I'm like, yo, what? How can you even do that? You know. But me, I just see it's like, alright, I'm gonna start something wherever it goes, sure. And this is just gonna be art. I'm feeling this kind of way, so I do it based off the color. So just like the Get Silly piece, yellow is more when I feel bright, like things are just feeling happy, things are feeling good. So it's like a good base color for happiness. So I had yellow on there, and from there, once I have the base, we can explore. So I see art as just exploration. Anything can come out of these little utensils and resources that I'm putting together. So let's see.
And then I guess the final piece we'll touch on in terms of your current endeavors is your events. So you've been throwing events at the pub on campus with many different artists, all types of. I've seen poetry there. I've seen like underground rap stuff.
Right.
I've seen everything. What are those for you? What does that mean to you? Why do you throw those?
Okay, events, they just recently transitioned into music too.
Mm.
It started off with sports events because those were the ones that, in Nigeria, people had been hosting events this whole time. Let me just start from there.
Yeah.
Let's start from Nigeria because the youth scene back home, I had a boy back in Nigeria. He would be working with these guys who were hosting events, and these are where all the youth, all the kids would come, even if it was just for them to look good and just go out. Because to go out, you needed to ask your parents for permission, maybe 2 weeks in advance before you had to go.
Yeah.
So going out was seen as a luxury for us kids.
Okay.
Especially for us who were in boarding school, and us going out was only when we were on holiday, right? We would spend 3 months at a time in school, but now we got 2 weeks. Yo, boys, where we at? Where we at? So you need to tell your parents like, yo, this and this and this is happening. Please, just let me go out. And especially when you live in a privileged household, because I would say I am pretty privileged and I am well acknowledging that. But Nigeria is not the safest, so our parents, if they were to take us out, they would need to make sure that the driver is there, to make sure that he's monitoring you so that you don't accidentally fall into the wrong circumstances, just parents being protective of their kids.
Right.
But here you have our kids, you guys are going out, freaking staying out late by the time you're in grade 9, and that was a luxury that we did not have.
Yeah.
Even to pass uni, I still know my, I still have my cousins now who still need to tell my uncle back home that a week in advance before they go out. They can,
And they're in uni?
and they're in uni.
Oh,
they can't just wake up one morning and say, I want to go out the house. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Who? Although it's really not that terrible outside,
Mhm.
but it's just like a culture thing. So we would host events then, and this was where the kids would come down. So from there, I just always had that idea that, okay, this is already a way of bringing people together.
Mhm.
When I come into Canada, I already came. Me coming into Canada, I didn't just come in thinking that, yeah, I'm just coming to live a different life. It was, I'm coming to try a whole lot of different shit.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going to get explorative.
Mhm.
This is where I'm going to get experimental, because the way I came to Canada is like Nigeria, everybody's got a closed mind. Everybody is not really into this whole expression thing. So here in Canada, where they see that as the hot shit, you guys are gonna see some shit there. So in the back of my head, I was like, okay, I want to have a little fashion shop thing, fashion event where we can have brand sale and just guys come together. But that was already a far shot from when I came into Canada because I knew I needed to work small first.
Right.
Like that idea is gonna be something a lot bigger that I can work towards too. But how could I start tiny? So we did a basketball event. I hosted it with my boy Mark Radzimaka. Shout out to him. He's currently in U of Calgary now.
Okay.
But I started that with him. Just started off his sports events. And from there, we lost about $300 in the first
Really?
event. It was terrible.
That's how it goes, bro.
Yeah. Money-wise, we did just not think it through. We thought we were going to sell a lot more food than we actually bought. And we had weeks worth of hot dogs and burgers after the event. You know.
It happens.
And then coming here, I was like, okay, I can host events. My boy makes music. How can we make some shit happen right now? The Med Pub, they would probably let us do it for free because it's a school venue, right? So we would be stupid to not use it. Immediately, I just called Dom on a Monday morning. I was like, bro, I'm gonna make sure that this happens. So you better get your ass ready and get your music ready. You're gonna perform. It's like, alright. I go down, I meet the manager, just scan the QR code, make the booking. By Tuesday, the next day, I was in contact with the event coordinator. And that's how Spotlight happened.
You were like incredibly positive all the time. You maintain a positive attitude. I've seen you throw every single event that you've done. I've seen like the process of you creating these things that you create. But no matter what, you maintain like a positive attitude even when things go wrong. How do you do that? Where does that come from?
It has been a whole journey in terms of my chillness now, I would say. Like, I used to be very emotionally triggered by anything that just did not go my way. Right? Like when I was younger, you stepped on my foot, alright, let's fight. I'm mad now. I wanted to go out, but my mom is sleeping. No, mom, why'd you go to bed? No, you were supposed to go out, and now I'm angry. Like, you know, my emotions would just like spike up immediately. And then my uncle, who I would also get mad at him too when he's telling me, you need emotional intelligence. To my young self, fuck does emotional intelligence mean? Bro, what are you telling me right now? You're getting me angry for telling me that.
100%.
You know? But it was like the calmer you are, especially when the situation is getting hot, the more you can actually like just wiggle your way out of it. No, rather, the better you can wiggle your way. You getting angry is you sitting in the shit. And if you sit in the shit, you're not cleaning it up.
No, you're gonna stink.
You know, you're just gonna stink. You're gonna freaking stink.
For sure.
So, just I don't even know how to explain it, man.
Just chill.
Just relax.
Yeah.
Like, you could get so much more done if you took it easy than if you were fixated on the fact that this one thing did not go right. Like, if I paint an example of yesterday when the tables when the tables didn't show up, I start screaming at the TMSU. See, this is why you guys can't do shit. Time is still running. This is why you guys are good for nothing. How do we come to university and we pay so much money and you guys can even help me? I'm an international student. I got this money, and all I sit there and do is just complain and fixate on the fact that these guys did not give me what I want. Instead, I was like, okay, we're in this situation right now. The tables and chairs are not here. We got 30 minutes. What could we do?
We got a
Yeah,
solution.
now I'm already thinking, we'll just set up and sit on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm thinking of okay, what's the smallest thing that we could do now in order to just make it advance? You know, and from there, your expectations, you can just quickly push it aside, but focus on the fact that you need to have an event and a product come out. Then I remembered, those tables from the parking lot, from the parking lot that I'm there, you know, quite usually, you know, a lot of the time, especially in this winter. You know, it's a great hideout spot. Use it as my studio, use it to roller skate, use it for the boys to chill. You know, that's what parking lot was about. You know, it's just a parking lot. So I was like, it may be a little bit more work, but we have a solution.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just gonna be the harder option, and you gotta be ready for that.
You gotta be a problem solver instead of a complainer. Yeah.
Of course.
What is next for you?
Right now, I'm actually working on something in Winnipeg.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like, I'm trying to see how I can take it back home for, it's not necessarily home, but you know, where it actually started, the place that gave me the most push. Like, boy, you got something, go do it. You know, I'm starting something right now with this DJ. It's still under works, but you know, that's what's up. It's gonna be a little Spring Summerfest, where Winnipeg artists pop out. I'm trying to get Nika to also fly out too. Like, let's see how we can start to make it a little. Let's spread the audience a little bit.
Yeah.
Spread the message.
That's it.
Because we got people already in Winnipeg, so if we said, yo, I'm trying to run something, we got guys who are ready. Just about doing.
That's it. Well, no matter what you do, I'm very excited for you.
Yeah.
You got a supporter here, so.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
bro. Thank you for doing this.
I mess with this so much, man. Southport to the world.